There are many ways to read the 5 books. All of them are valid. These ancient texts are written in such a way that they empower each reader to actively interpret and find their own story within them. But among all possible readings, there is one you cannot unsee once it becomes visible: the story of the brain. The 5 books are not a religious document. They are a coded repository of Hebrew word roots, encoded with linguistic patterns that hold keys to how consciousness, language, and perception operate, even today. We've been told the story of the Garden of Eden, an old fable that retells one of thousands of other creation stories. The tree of knowledge, the forbidden fruit, the man, the woman, and the serpent are relics from another time, a myth that modern science outgrew. But what if science is not replacing the story? What if it's still entangled in it? What if all the theories we generate today are just modern expressions of what's already embedded in the Hebrew words? What if every name of every body part is intentional? Every character is a symbol. Every number, every location, part of a code waiting to be cracked. Even the word Torah holds a secret. Torah means to seek, to unbind, to permit. But today we're looking at a different word, Nachash, the serpent, the snake. The book of Genesis is not just the story of humanity. It's the story of what came before humanity. It's the story of a moment, a burst, when everything exploded from the head of the One. This isn't theology, it's neurology. And in this video, we'll briefly pass through words like rosh, head, moch, brain, and even beten, belly. We'll explore each of them more deeply in separate videos. But today, our word is Nachash, because the serpent isn't just a creature, it's the pattern of the predictive mind. Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, a leading voice in neuroscience, teaches that the brain does not react to reality, it predicts. Her theory of the predictive brain has revolutionized how we understand emotions, behavior, and mental health. The brain is not a passive observer, it is a forecaster. It uses past experience and internal models to guess what's about to happen, and then updates that guess as sensory input comes in. In this model, anxiety, depression, and even emotion itself are not responses to life events. They are prediction errors. The brain expects danger, pain, or loss, and the body believes it. This isn't just science, it's ancient Hebrew, because the word Nachash, snake, shares its root with the words guess, predict, and even interest. Neshech, as in the interest added to a loan. The serpent is the brain is the guesser, and when the guess is wrong, it creates a distorted reality. In the Hebrew story, the serpent says, "You will be like God, knowing good and evil." But he doesn't know that, he guesses. And when the human believes the guess, the fall begins.
There are these experiments where they trained people to experience anxiety, but as determination, because exactly the same physical state could be experienced completely different. And what they discovered is that at first it's really hard, but you practice, and then eventually it becomes really automatic. So the first thing to understand is that
Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett is a world-leading neuroscientist.
Her groundbreaking research reveals that emotions like anxiety and trauma are built by the brain.
And we have the power to control them.
the story is that you're born with these innate emotion circuits, but you're not born with the ability to control them. That's false. Really what's happening is that your brain is not reacting, it's predicting. And every action you take, every emotion you have is a combination of the remembered past, including any trauma. And so you don't have a sense of agency about it because it happens really automatically, faster than you can blink your eyes.
How does this change how we should treat trauma?
Sometimes in life, you are responsible for changing something, not because you're to blame, but because you're the only person who can.
The woman hesitates. She contains doubt. She questions. The man simply acts, eats, accepts the forecast. And the Torah, as a whole, is not trying to tell us what happened. It's showing us how the mind works, and more importantly, how to fix it. Because this predictive mind, when left unchecked, generates endless loops of fear, projection, and misinterpretation. Torah teaches a different posture. Shema Yisrael, hear, Don't guess, don't predict, don't assume, just hear. The commandments, if stripped of religious framing, are exercises in attention. Neural recalibration. Pause, listen, remember, differentiate, choose, thank. The Torah is a neurolinguistic feedback loop. It repeats itself over and over, just like the brain does, trying to fix a corrupted script. And this corrupted script, it all starts in one place: the inability to be 100% in the present moment, in reality itself. Human knowing is guessing. This is the voice of the predictive mind, and when we believe the guess, we suffer. The serpent is called Aram, naked, but that word is deeply layered. It connects to the words evil, woke erotic, arousal, disturbance, and unsettling movement. Because evil isn't always an act. Sometimes it's a misfire in perception, a guess that got mistaken for truth. The brain gets disturbed when there's a gap between prediction and reality. And the Torah is the tool to disturb the disturbance, to shake you back into presence, to awaken you, not to frighten you. The ancient sages called challenges to authority orurin, awakenings, appeals, disruptions. But these weren't just legal, they were internal pulses. Wait, something's off. I might be wrong. And in healthy measure, they're the key to change. But constant prediction, constant resistance becomes anxiety. The Torah shows us example after example. Abraham challenges God about Sodom. Moses challenges God about Israel. Job challenges the nature of justice. Jonah challenges the logic of repentance. Even God, at times, awakens. Orin are not the problem. They are the cracks where light gets in. They're also the crack where delusion seeps in. And the Torah teaches, know the difference. Because the brain is not evil, it just wants rest. It wants comfort. It gets addicted to the familiar, like coffee at the same hour every morning. Not because it needs caffeine, but because it needs to know what's going to happen. It needs to not guess, just once. And so it settles into patterns, predictable, familiar, addictive. We call it comfort food. But it's not food, it's memory. It's the illusion of safety. And the Torah, it doesn't feed the addiction. It leads you into the desert to break the pattern. Only when the predictive mind lets go can true comfort emerge, because to change, you must forget. To forget, you must rest. And to rest, you must let go of the lie you know. This is what the serpent tried to steal. Not truth, but the simplicity of not knowing. And from that, the journey back begins. And so, we begin at the beginning, not with a man, not with a woman, not even with a tree, but with a whisper, a voice that appears before there is language, a presence that questions, twists, predicts, seduces. The serpent, he doesn't come to destroy, he comes to guess how to protect us, and in that single guess, a universe unfolds. So now, let us return to the root, let us listen. Not to what we think it means, but to what the word Nachash is actually saying. Not through translation, not through belief, but through sound, through form, through vibration, letter by letter, pulse by pulse, hiss by hiss Nachash, the first spark of the guessing game.